What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. Um, a lot's been on my plate lately. There's been a lot of good games come out I wanted to review, but it's been a lot going on. 2.5 years ago, my wife was diagnosed with cancer, and she fought long and hard. And unfortunately, this past week, she lost that battle. And it's been kind of a tough time. We had almost 2 weeks of hospice here at the house. And of course, on cue, there goes my dog making all kinds of crazy noises. Hey, hush, smell, hush. We leave those in, you know how it is. But so it's been the whole month of December, pretty much. Ever since Thanksgiving, actually, things have been really kind of rough around here. Her treatment was not going well, and it just slowly got to the point to where the chemo was doing more harm than good. It had destroyed her lungs. I mean, she was requiring oxygen to breathe, and it got to the point to where chemo was just not even an option anymore because, like I said, it was doing more harm than good. Which is kind of how chemo works, really. Eventually, if you take it long enough, you can only do that stuff for so long. And I really hope and pray one day that the medical people figure out a better way. I know there's some treatments for some cancers that are better, but as far as chemo being this kind of blanket, it's like if you got a mouse in your house, so you burn down your house to get rid of the mouse. I mean, that's kind of how chemo works. It's just like a nuclear strike to your entire body, and you hope the good cells rejuvenate afterwards. So anyway, she fought long and she fought hard, and I'm very proud of the effort she put in, because she never gave up, not one time. No matter how many times she threw up or was sick and just all these things that were going on and the pain that was constantly there, she never gave up. She never said, I'm done, I want to give up, I can't take this no more. She gave it her all to the very end. Even the hospice nurse was like, man, she is putting up a heck of a fight here. So, it started out 2.5 years ago. The cancer was in an area of your body called the peritoneum, which is, my understanding, is kind of this lining that kind of holds all your guts together, basically. And they said that cancer is very treatable. That you should be able to have some chemo. There'd be a surgery and then a little more chemo, and you should be good to go. They were very optimistic this was going to work out. And unfortunately, after the surgery, everything went downhill. I don't know if opening her body up and seeing the cancer cells hitting the open air, I don't know what happened, but all I can say is after that surgery, it was not the same. She almost died in the hospital, actually. It was July of 22, January of 23. I mean, they were about ready to write her off then, because the tumors had come back so strong after the surgery that it blocked all of her bowels, and everything was shut down. Nothing was moving through, and was not looking good. But thankfully, God sent a surgeon to us that she said, I went home and prayed about it. Here's what we're going to do. So they sent her to a hospital downtown Houston that would allow chemo to take place in the hospital while she was in the hospital, recovering from this other stuff. And sure enough, the tumor started shrinking to where things started moving again. And eventually, she was in there for a month. Imagine sitting in a hospital bed for a month. Not good. But she did get out. She did a little more chemo, and things were better. She was able to she got to the point to where the cancer was undetectable. CT scans couldn't find it. And she started taking this, it's a form of chemotherapy, but it's a pill. You take 2 of them in the morning, 2 of them in the evening. And if you can go successfully on this, it's much less damaging to your body. Her hair grew back, everything, she was normal. It didn't make her sick or anything like that. And if you can do that for about 2 years, they consider you done. And send you on your way. Well, unfortunately, after about 8 months of that, the tumor started coming back. Those pills were not working. So, it's more chemo. There's different types. I thought chemo, before this, I always thought chemotherapy was chemotherapy. I didn't realize there was like a bunch of different kinds of chemo. Well, there are. And she tried about 5 of them. And they would work for a little while and then stop working. And they kind of monitored this by her blood numbers. There's a cancer marker in there, and it would go down and then it would go back up. And so when they put her back on the original chemo, which always worked, and it knocked it down, she was doing better. The problem is it slowly stopped working. Her cancer numbers went down, and then they started creeping up. And that was not a good sign. And then also we found out that the chemo had damaged her lungs to the point to where, again, she needed oxygen to breathe. She's been hospitalized 3 times since August, and November, and then December she was in the hospital. So eventually we just, she had to start hospice care. Best case scenario, get some rest, recover, get this chemo out of your system, build up your strength. Maybe we can look at some more treatment down the road. But she was in hospice for 12 days. And I think it was 12. Anyway, they just finally, it was enough. That was it. So I don't even know why I'm really making this video. I guess it's partly therapeutic for me just to talk about it a little bit. I'm kind of bouncing around this house here by myself and not really knowing what to do next. Me and my wife go way back. I fell in love with her when I was 13 years old, 1982. So we go way back. And she was a beautiful, beautiful girl, way out of my league. But somehow or another, I managed to lock her down. I don't know how. But there was a time period we'd gone our separate ways when we got back together, and we had the last 20 years together. But I think also a good thing to think about is I wanted to make this video to maybe encourage other people out there that if you're caring for somebody that has cancer or it comes up in the future. I mean, every time I flick on the internet or look at any type of ad or all these different drugs, it could be linked to cancer, or commercials for, have you ever used this medication, cancer, or blah, blah, blah. There's a good chance somebody watching this video is going to be faced with this one day, either for yourself or a loved one. And myself, my mother died of cancer. So, it's out there, definitely. But if you're caring for somebody with cancer, the one thing I learned is, the person that's going through the treatment, going through the cancer, one thing you have to remember is they have something in their body that is trying to kill them, and they know it. And with my wife, she was constantly reminded that it was there because she constantly had pain. These tumors, like I said, what started out as the peritoneum suddenly spread to everywhere else in her abdomen and down and all these other parts, and it caused a lot of pain. And so even though she was on some pretty good painkillers, the pain could never get under control. It was always there. So she was constantly reminded, this thing's trying to kill me. And this is going to evoke some emotion out of this person that you're going to have to be patient with. I think I did a fairly good job with it. I mean, there was times where she was mad, she was angry, crying, she was upset, she was worried. I mean, all these things that I had to watch her go through and then try to remember. She might even yell at me about something that's, what are you yelling at me for? And then I realize I have to stop and remind myself, this thing's trying to kill her, and she knows it, and she's mad. She's not mad at me. And she even told me one time that she was giving me a rough time this one night. I just kind of took it, and she started crying I think it was the next day or later that night. She started crying. I'm sorry, I shouldn't take it out on you. I'm like, it's, I understand, it's okay. He's like, no, it's not okay. Started crying again. So you have to be patient and kind to this person. If they need something, get it for them, whatever that may be. Anything to help make them more comfortable. Like, for instance, chemo causes neuropathy, which is pains in all your extremities and whatnot. And so maybe rubbing their legs and calves with some lotion and just kind of massage their legs, put some other medications on that can maybe help relieve some of this pain, be there. There might be some times where you have to clean a bedpan, or you may have to clean up vomit, or you may have to clean up diarrhea. Some of this chemo causes all kinds of horrible stuff to happen. And unfortunately, she experienced all of it. And, I just had to step in and help take care of that as best I could. Made sure she stayed clean. Don't let that stuff stay there. If there's a mess there, clean it up. There's times where it gets very tiring, but you just have to kind of man up, I guess, as we used to say, and take care of it. And just help that person as best you can get through this. People keep asking me, well, how are you doing? How are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. But my concern is I'm talking about while she was alive. And I'm just like, I'm not really concerned about me right now. She's the one that we have to be concerned about. But everybody kept telling me, take care of yourself, take care of yourself. And it's true, you do have to. Thankfully, I was very blessed. My sister-in-law came over from time to time, would give me breaks, especially during the hospice. Because there was times she was on medication every 2 hours. I had to give her something. So that makes it very hard to sleep. And you sleep for an hour at a time or so. And yeah, it made for some long nights, but my sister-in-law came over and relieved me and allowed me to go upstairs and just get some solid sleep for a day or two and then come back. So that's another thing, if you're going through this, if you got family members or a close friend or somebody that can help you, don't be too proud to accept that help, because you're going to need it. You don't want to burn yourself out too much. It was a trying time. And there was times, like I said, during that period where she was on the pill, it was, hey, we might get through this. But cancer just has a way, I know, anyway. But, so if you do find yourself in that position, the only thing I can think to tell you is just whatever they need, do it, And if they need to yell at somebody, let them yell at you. Because they're not yelling at you. They're just upset at the whole situation. And sometimes it's kind of hard not to take some things personally. But she reminded me, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. I'm just, this cancer was just making her, so mad, Why is this happening? But it did. And I don't know why. I don't know why anybody has to go through this. I mean, it's, I don't get it. But we just have to figure out our next steps here, what we're going to do now. So if anybody out there watches this, it could be now when it's being done in January of 25 or July of 42 down the road, if I'm still around by then. If you got any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, or you want to reach out, just, I'm all about trying to help other people get through something. My wife was that way. She was a very giving person and caring person. And if anybody can benefit from what happened to her, I mean, she would be glad to contribute in some way. But anyway, this was not a scripted deal at all. I just felt like something had to be said. I mean, it's a small little channel. I don't think anybody even noticed I hadn't been around in a while. But I just wanted to put it out there, because one of the things she did while she was going through this battle she was looking on YouTube, and I know there's a lot of people out there that document their cancer journey and what all happened during it. And some of those people are gone. And she watched a lot of those videos, and so I thought, well, maybe I could throw her name out there a little bit. You know, her name is Laura, lovely woman. Again, way better looking than me, but I think she would love for somebody to, if somebody can get some help from what she went through, I think she would be happy about that. So if I can help anybody, just talk about what's going on with the struggle, because it's it's tough on everybody around, not just the patient. They're the ones that you focus on, but the people around they're affected by it as well, because I mean you're constantly reminded that what's going to happen. The unknown is just always there, and then you see them in pain a lot, and you're trying to help. There's nothing you can do. It's tough. It's a tough road to go down. So if you're going down that road, if you just want somebody to pray for you, drop it in the comments. We'll say prayers for you. We got access to a bunch of people that are faithful, and try to get it out there maybe to other people to pray for you and help you. But anyway, like I said, if you're going through it, just hang in there, be strong, take some time for yourself, say your prayers, focus. Just sometimes you have to stop and breathe. And anyway, I just wanted to make this short little video and just kind of put it out there that this happened. And just don't want her to be forgot. I want somebody else to know about her, know that she went through this, and I want everybody to know she fought to the very end. And but she left. Right before she left singing. She was singing hymns, Amazing Grace, Jesus Loves Me. She was singing those types of songs. And that's what she was focused on, the next step. So if you don't believe in next steps, I don't know what to tell you. But I do believe in the next step, and hopefully everybody else out there will as well. Because it's got to be more than this, right? If you think about it, the time you're on this earth is so short. If you live to be 100, it's still not that long. I mean, time goes by so quick. Some people watching this video are in their 20s or 30s or whatever, maybe. Time moves about a normal pace. Once you get in your 40s, your 50s, a week seems like a day. I was watching a guy put up his Christmas lights the other day before Christmas, this December, and it was like, I remember seeing him doing it before because he had a whole crew out there doing it. And I was like, didn't he just do that? I mean, it just seemed like I had just seen this scenario playing out. It had been a year. So time goes by fast. So anyway, if you got any questions or you need somebody to pray for you, drop it in the comments. And y'all take it easy and remember the name Laura. She was a good woman, and we will miss her. Y'all take it easy.